ahead, Duke.
Speaker, question to the Premier. When first elected leader, you promised almost daily to reform social assistance. You said the Lankan Sheep report was, quote, our government's report. This was the second report from your government. The Drummond Commission recommended gut bureaucracy, gut duplication that prevents recipients from getting a job. What happened, Premier? Why the silence? What's going on here? Drummond, Lankan, Sheep, our PC white paper all recommend consolidating Ontario Works and ODSP for efficiency, for cost effectiveness. Jobs for those on social assistance.
Question.
What's the holdup?
Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, I cannot resist. I'm going to send the supplementary to the Minister of Community and Social Services because I know he'll want to talk about details. But I want to respond. I want to respond because I think it's terrific that the member opposite from this party is asking a question about social assistance, Mr. Speaker. That, I mean, it shows a compassion that I think is really appropriate. And, Mr. Speaker, I remain absolutely committed to beginning to implement the Lankan Shake report, Mr. Speaker. We have been very clear. We've been very clear. And, Mr. Speaker, as the Minister of Finance has said, this is part of the discussion that we're having in the run-up to the budget, Mr. Speaker. We've been very, very clear. It's important to us that we get this right. It's very important to us that as part of the economic growth and the economic plan of the province, that everyone can take part, including people who have been marginalized, Mr. Speaker, and for whom the system has actually kept them out of the workforce. So we are committed to moving ahead, Mr. Speaker, and I know the Minister will want to speak to the details. Thank you.
Supplementary.
Yeah, back to the Premier, Speaker, and your reports, Premier, call for measures to help recipients get jobs. You've obviously done nothing. I mentioned our official opposition published a white paper to cut bureaucracy, cut duplication, again to help recipients get jobs. I received all-party support for a private member's bill to foster employment and permit disabled people to keep more of their own money. It passed second reading. That was 3 years ago. A few weeks ago, I introduced a private member's bill to cut waste through consolidation while protecting the distinct needs of people with disabilities. What happened to you, Premier? What happened to your priority to reform social assistance? We have seen no action.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And as I said, we are moving ahead. There are 108 recommendations, Mr. Speaker. The Minister of Community and Social Services is talking to the folks on the front line, and we have been clear, Mr. Speaker, that this is something that we are going to act on. And as the Minister of Finance has said, in the run-up to the budget, we are preparing to implement the report. But, Mr. Speaker, I really hope that this is an indication that the party opposite is actually going to read the budget, Mr. Speaker, and may actually be willing to support us because, Mr. Speaker, you will find, and I hope the member opposite will see in the budget that there will be that common ground that they will be able to support. Because I agree with the member opposite. We need to make sure that everyone can take part in our economy, that the very systems that government sets up are not systems that keep people out of the workforce, but in fact support them to get into the workforce and keep them there, Mr. Speaker. That's what we're going to be working on, and I hope the party opposite will read the budget and support us.
Good question. Member from Kenora, Rainy River.